Hey friend, it is the first of the year and we are all trying to save money and eat better. So what better way to do that than to skip restaurant meals, eat at home so that you know you're making it healthier and you're saving a ton of money. Today's recipe is going to be my take on Olive Garden's Zuppa Toscana soup. And I'm also going to do some breadsticks on the side because what's soup without breadsticks? And who doesn't go to Olive Garden for breadsticks and the other stuff? Stick around for the breadstick recipe because I'm going to tell you, they're even better than the ones that I've had at Olive Garden. Hey friends, if we're new here and we've not met, my name's Hope and I am the main cook here in the Savvy Saver kitchen. I'm just sharing the things that I've learned along the way to cook from scratch, save money, and eat much healthier by doing all of that in my own kitchen. So I share flops and wins on this channel, and hopefully you'll find something that you can use.
So we're going to start off with a pound of Italian sausage. I'm using sweet Italian sausage, but I think the recipe can also use spicy, but use whatever blesses your family most. We're going to brown that ground beef, and then for about 5 minutes, then you're going to add in 4 slices of chopped bacon. And again, just continue to work that in so it separates. We're going to add in our onion and garlic and then saute that for another minute or so. You can add in salt and pepper to taste. About a half teaspoon of salt is what I used. Once that's sauteed for about another minute, then we're going to add in our 3 cups of potatoes and our chopped and de-stemmed kale. And you can see that this is a full pot. Just try to give it a little mix, and you're going to add in your chicken broth and water over the top of that. And again, try to give it a little bit of a stir so everything doesn't all sit at the bottom and that kale soaks up the beef. Then after that has simmered for about 20 minutes, we're going to uncover it, add in 3/4 of a cup of heavy whipping cream, and allow that to simmer for another 10 minutes. Then we're actually going to move on to our breadsticks. Now, this is something I actually started earlier than the soup because you do need some time for the proofing. So I started mine probably about 2 hours ahead of time. So I'm going to start with 1 cup of warm water. This is going to be just to the temperature of like you're running a bath for a small child. You're going to add in a teaspoon of active dry yeast and then a skinny little drizzle of black molasses is what I used, but any kind of sweetener. You also can use sugar or honey. And then I'm going to mix that up and set it aside and allow that to bloom or develop a little foam on the top. Then I'm going to add in 2 cups of flour to my mixing bowl. And I'm going to come back and add about a teaspoon of salt. And then I'm going to want to whisk that together so that the salt isn't concentrated in any one spot. So once our yeast mixture has started to just kind of bubble up at the top a little bit, I'm going to come back and add about a tablespoon of olive oil to that, mix it up, and then I'm going to pour that into my flour mixture. Then we're going to just mix this up by hand. This doesn't have to look pretty. You just want it to be fully incorporated there. As you can see, this is kind of a mushy mess here, but that's fine because we're just going to set it aside in a warm spot and allow that to proof. So what I'm going to do is take the lid to this bowl, place it over the top, and then I previously turned on the light in my oven and got it a little bit warm, and I'm going to let that sit there for 30 minutes to an hour depending on temperature. And when that's doubled in size, as you can see here, I'm going to start to work it on my bread surface. So I've sprinkled about a 1/4 cup of flour on the surface, and then I have plenty more on the side. Then I'm going to roll that out of the bowl onto the breadboard, and then start to work it and incorporate a little extra flour into that so that I'm able to form the breadsticks. This particular batch was really sticky. I think it probably had to do with the humidity of the day. So I'm immediately going to add in some flour, but you'll kind of get a feel for it and just work it until it's easy to work with. Then I'm going to take a knife and I'm going to cut this into 8 quarters or 8 sections. And this is just going to allow me to kind of roll each one up into a ball, and then bring back your old Play-Doh skills. You want to take that ball of dough and you're just going to roll it between your hands and make a snake. And then once you have that breadstick snake in your hands, then just kind of break it into 2 pieces and give yourself 2 little short breadsticks. And we're going to complete this process until we have the whole batch of dough done. This will make 16 medium-sized breadsticks. Then we're just going to set that aside to proof for another 30 minutes, then move it to the oven and bake for 25 minutes.
So there you have it, friends. A wonderful soup that is very easy to make, not a ton of ingredients. And if you can manage to get down some of the soup and not just completely fill up on the breadsticks, it's a really well-rounded meal. The only thing you might want to add is a little Olive Garden salad. Check out the next video that's going to have Olive Garden salad. Who doesn't love soup, salad, and breadsticks? Super great combo and one of my absolute favorites. It's actually the only thing that I go to Olive Garden for. If you would like the full recipe, join me on Substack. There I will share the full recipe and you'll have an opportunity to give me some feedback and ask for some other recipes, and that would be great. And until the next video comes out, you have a blessed day and maybe check out this video here.